apart, which caused me to entertain other people. And that's where his trust with me comes in at.
My choice.
Hey guys, and welcome to Little Black Book 91. We are talking to you today about Eric, to trust or not to trust. That is the question he needs to answer if this relationship is to progress and go forward. If he decides not to trust, then this relationship is pretty much on a ticking time bomb, and it's soon to end, probably in a very messy way. We'll see what happens in the coming episodes. But today we're going to talk about Eric, your decision you have to make to trust or not to trust. And we're going to talk a little bit about Jess as well and her shenanigans, which we're going to have to hold her accountable for, because a part of this relationship is in the dirt because of what she has done during the course of the relationship. But let's break some stuff down. Before we get there, please do me a favor, like, share, subscribe, click on the bell button for notification of what up. Loads for those of you who are returnees. You already know what it is. We've got the minerals. Yes, you got the minerals. Stay hydrated because the streets are hot indeed. We don't want you to get out here and not have yourself some water, okay? This is water. Stay hydrated, guys, okay? Stay hydrated, okay? Stay hydrated. All right, cool. So let's talk some real stuff right now. But before we do, let's do an outro. Little Black Book, you know what time it is. Boom. Cool. Let's get into this particular video and let's talk about Eric and Jessica. So very first of all, I want to say this. Their relationship started off in a very messy way. Okay, we heard from the very first episode how pretty much Jess had to fight off 3 women to literally get to Eric. So already we started off in a place where you're started in a deficit, shaky ground, foundations weren't great, trust wasn't fully built, there was attraction, there was love, there was probably lust, there was a lot of sex involved. All of that stuff contributed towards a sandstorm of a relationship that already had a shaky ground and was only going to be more shakier as wind began to test the sturdiness of the building they had began to build. You know, insecurities were already present, I believe, in Jess, especially because of the way that she talks. As someone who was hurt from a little young age, and it's played into the relationship. She consistently questions his motives and whether he's trustworthy. But actually, when we really look at the situation where, and I'm still 100% yet whether he actually cheated in a relationship. I know in the very beginning he was entertaining 3 women. Whether she was aware of that, I'm not sure. Whether it was the fact that she was in a relationship and he was entertaining it, or whether he was in a relationship with 1 girl and had 3 other girls on the go. I am not sure exactly how it plays out, but definitely there was some infidelity from at least one of their sides, particularly, right? So this relationship is not going the way it needs to be going in terms of the actual direction, yeah, and the foundations that need to be built. This is a lesson for everybody who is getting into relationships. The foundations are important. Build strong, last long. Okay, don't build quickly trying to get the person with lust and attraction rather than actually building a genuine connection with that person, getting to know them interpersonally for who they really are. You do not want to get to a place where you look at the person and go, I don't know who you are anymore. You don't want that particular feeling, right? Nobody wants that. So let's build those key relationships by making sure we build interpersonal relationships, attitudes, values. What are your thoughts? What are your feelings? How do you see life? What's your ambitions? What's your goals? Let's discuss that before we entertain other ideas as well. Okay, let's begin to break some of this stuff down. I want to go to their video as well because I think there's a lot of stuff that was in the actual conversation with Dr. Nicole that needed to be broken down. Let's just go here.
Answered that I feel like aren't getting answered.
He's speaking on when we were split up. He feels like...
How long ago was that?
About a year.
Okay, so we've got a time scale now. A year ago, we had Eric and Jessica split up And she's about to explain why. They split up because she asked him, are you happy? He said he's not happy. And then they split up because there was a failing of communication in terms of from her end and from his end particularly, right? Her end particularly, right? So his frustrations were with the fact that Bull was coming to an end. I don't know, it looked like it came to an abrupt end rather than actually him choosing to end it. He doesn't seem comfortable with the ending of of his particular sports journey, so that may be something that's also in question. And then obviously his frustrations are being played out in the relationship, and she doesn't communicate that she feels like he's taking out his frustrations on her. So what does she decide to do? And this is why I said about the insecurities of Jess were before the relationship. What she decides to do is that she says, you're pushing me away, and starts to be emotionally cheating with someone else, right? And I'll come to it in a moment why I say she's emotionally cheating, because we know that physically she didn't meet the guy. She says that straight away. She didn't physically meet the guy whilst in the relationship. She waited till they were broken up or on a break. Then she slept. Then she didn't say she slept. Then she met up with that guy physically. But it started long before then. It was an emotional affair, right? It was an emotional cheating that was going on, because you were emotionally connecting with this person, building on a premise that you knew that was more than a feeling of a friendship, right? Seemingly. This is why I say emotional cheating, right? But let's play a little bit more of the clip and we'll come back here.
Yeah, maybe about a year ago.
The reason why we split was because I asked him, was he happy? And he told me no.
Okay.
This was around the time where he...
So this split that happened, he wasn't happy, she wasn't happy. This was around the time of him playing ball. It's kind of just setting up a really nice picture of how we can see why tensions got so stressed that they decided to break up, right? Tensions are flaring. I'm stressed with the fact that I'm not where I want to be at the moment. You're not giving me what I need from you. And I think this is where the depth situation for Eric comes in. During the process and the time of when I was feeling frustrated and feeling a certain way about ball, I didn't feel like you could help me because you didn't have the depth to do so. And the depth isn't necessarily just intellect. It's the way you reason. It's the way you bring logic and analysis in. It's the way that you bring your feelings into a situation, the way you bring your emotions into it. It's about choosing the right time, having emotional intelligence, how you process information I've given to you, and how you bring that back to, how you represent that back to me. If I'm telling you about the fact that I'm stressed about ball, how do you handle that? Do you ask me how I'm doing? Do you ask me, hey, what's the solutions? What's the particular problems we have at the moment, and what's the particular solutions we can look for? Have you thought about certain situations like this? Like, maybe that's what he really wanted from her. He really wanted those particular conversations and wasn't getting them in abundance, right? And sometimes the person doesn't even want an answer. They just want you to listen, and they want you to be able to listen with them. They want to be able to just for you to go, okay, I heard you. So are you saying da-da-da-da? And just regurgitating what they said to them, and giving that person room to have you as a feedback board. That's what sometimes people are saying.
He was kind of retired and not doing what he loved to do, which was football.
I was going through a rough time, and I felt like she couldn't understand. And I was really trying to express what I was going through.
So you hear him quite clearly say, listen, I was going for a rough time, and I just didn't feel like she understood. Now, understanding here doesn't need to be I've played football too. It just needs empathy. It just needs empathy. Right? And this is something that's really difficult to have. A lot of people don't have empathy, the ability to empathize with emotions, what that person is feeling. And it's very difficult to have that understanding when you might not have that level of depth. It might have never been required of Jess to have that level of empathy in this way. And I'm saying that it's relative. I'm not saying that she's not empathetic. I'm not saying she's shallow. What I'm saying, in relative terms, in comparison to what Eric seemingly is asking for, she's not giving that level of empathy and not giving that level of understanding that is required. So there's a frustration there. He wants to be able to discuss with her, but she doesn't give him the feedback that shows that she's of that certain depth. You know, when you have a conversation with somebody and you know what they're carrying, you know that whenever you discuss with them, they're going to able to give you some feedback, not necessarily giving you answers, but feedback enough to let you know they're of a certain level. As you were going deep, they were going deep. But when you get certain feedback from other people, it's just shallow. You throw it there and it doesn't go anywhere. You discuss that person, it doesn't really go anywhere. Right? That is all to do with the fact, the level of understanding that a person has, knowledge that they may have. That all contributes towards that. You know what I'm saying? And I don't think he felt like she had it.
It was hard.
Okay.
So I felt like he was taking out his anger towards football out on me.
Is that a possibility?
I didn't know. She never expressed those things to me.
Now, this is very important too, because she's making a point here about her feelings, which is your interpreted extrapolation of what's happening to you at that point in time, and you applying your experiences, your emotion, and your interpretation of the events that happened right in front of you onto this particular moment, right? So she's got feelings. Her feelings were that he was not providing a safe space, in the sense of he was taking out his frustrations about ball onto her. Right, and this is probably very, very much true, right? Probably pretty true, right? But she doesn't express that to him. He doesn't know this, and she admits she didn't tell him. Why? Let's talk about that.
Did you communicate that?
No.
Okay. So, first lesson in trust.
So she doesn't communicate the fact that she felt like he was taking out frustrations on her, and then she ends up now talking to another guy. So I have to provide smoke for Jess here, because instead of her confronting the issue, she ran away. Instead of confronting the issue at that point in time, she ran away. This is why Eric can't trust you right now. In the moment where he needed you to stand strong, and you didn't even communicate that you felt like he was taking it out on you, you ran away to another baller. Not just another person, another football player. So you tried to replace me. How can I ever trust you? This is the question that Eric has to ask himself now. Can I trust you ever again? I think what's happening right now in this relationship is him trying to find that answer. Can I trust you again? The trouble with breaking trust in a thing like this, where it's emotional or physical, breaking of boundaries, is that it takes months to heal. And those months require you to have really intense conversations about what you did and about how I feel towards the situation. They require tough conversations. And those conversations aren't easy, because it means you admitting what you did wrong. And it means going over it a few times and asking yourself, why did I get here? Her answer in this particular conversation tells me I don't think she's fully deeped her actual answer as to why she did what she did. I want you to listen to her reasoning very, very carefully.
You have to ask for what you want. What did you need in that moment from him?
Love.
What would that look like?
Just bringing us closer together, because
I'm going to pause it there. She said she needed love, and she needed it because I think there's a cut in it. They definitely cut her response. It doesn't even line up. I don't know what they were trying to do. It definitely doesn't line up. So she wanted love, right? Which is cool. Now, Dr. Nicole beautifully asked her, what does that look like? Because she wants to make sure she interprets the information. She wants to interpret the information, what's going on, and interpret how she sees love for her, right? Cool. So now we've got a situation where she's about to explain something, and I want you to pay so much attention, because when people cheat, if they don't understand that it's their own desire, yes, I definitely believe that there are contributing factors within a relationship that drive people to do this. But if a man said, you drove me to cheat, we'd all be up in arms, including myself. We cannot accept this as a reasonable reason as to why you cheated. We understand it's part of the reasoning, but it's not the reason. Let's play.
We were shifting apart, which caused me to entertain other people.
We were shifting apart, which caused me to now entertain other people. Darling, Jess, if you watch my vlogs, I want you to understand something. He didn't push you. You decided to go there. If you had quit the relationship, I would understand. But it pushed you to entertain someone else. That's personal. That's personal. That's to do with you. You couldn't receive the love you wanted at that point in time. You weren't getting it all the way you wanted. You weren't getting all the attention and the affection that you require, because Eric's not giving you that right now, right? Then you decided to shift your focus now, because it's what you needed, right? You desired this. And so now you went okay, you went and found someone who could provide in that moment what you felt and you needed. Okay? You decided then in that moment, okay, to do that. You decided that because you had a desire to do so. That wasn't Eric. That's your desire. Okay? That's your desire.
And that's where his trust with me comes in at.
My choice was try to get my career back aligned, and hers go hop on another man.
So I'm going to end it on this point. See how hurt my man is? Because I was ready to fire Eric all season long. What Jess has done is moved mad. In that scenario, Jess has moved mad. And because of her selfish desire and wanting of attention, listen, I hear the other points as to why she did what she did. But truth be told, people who cheat, they do it because they feel they desire, they need to be desired, they want to be wanted, which is why she wears the dresses that she wears now. She wants to be desired. She wants to be wanted. But that gives her no excuse as to why you cheated on your boy emotionally and then ended up with the guy later on. I'm going to leave it there, guys, and say, listen, we're going to do a part 2 of this. Guys, make sure you like, share, subscribe, click on the bell button for notification of uploads. Comment down below your thoughts. What did you think? What did you feel about the situation?
Little black hood, you know what time it is.